Hello, everybody. Welcome to my podcast. This is Alex, also known as Alex Will or Alex the Soul, a musician who traveled all over the world, performing on television, radio, been in magazines. And for those who haven't already watched my videos on YouTube, as I'm singing, you probably noticed I speak a lot about spirituality, what's going on the inside. And that's why I decided to do this podcast, because many times people ask me, what inspired you? What did you learn from your travels? And I would tell you, the most I captured is through experience. So it's not really about what a person tells you or what you do, but it's that vibration. And of course, if the vibration is very high, you feel uplifted, you feel incredible. It's the place of unconditional love. You're able to create, you're able to feel free. But then there's also a certain vibration that is very low. The opposite of love, which is fear. We all have it. We all experience that. And we panic and we're in survival mode. As I spoke in many of my podcasts about the brain and the heart, I want to speak a little bit about this feeling. There is a philosophy or a certain mindset. You probably have seen it or read it in books where people talk about that you can do certain things to achieve certain results, to get this certain feeling. But what is if I tell you, you don't have to really do anything to have this feeling, okay? Because, of course, there are ways. You build your career, you have a certain job, you have certain patterns, you have a certain strategy. And of course you can go that route and you can work step by step and hopefully you get this result. But what is if I tell you, you don't have to work in order to feel love? You don't have to work for it to have a divine, beautiful relationship. You don't have to hustle and bustle just because you want to have a beautiful connection. All of it is not necessary. It starts really with you by simply, and it's not so simple, I may want to say, but you can connect with the source. Now, what happens is when we're in our brain, we're in survival mode. We constantly fight with fear. We do it oftentimes subconsciously, and it happens with me too. If you are in a close relationship, you happen to have your mirror's reflection, and you can't run away from it because you face yourself. You could talk to yourself all the way you want. You could be so positive, but why is it that you react in a negative way or in a fearful way? So oftentimes what happens is memories are stored in your body. And what I'm telling you is very powerful. You don't just eliminate that overnight. So it starts with a first step. And the first step is to be aware of what's going on. If your body has a certain reaction, like you're verbalizing something in a negative way, or you have a facial expression, somebody says something to you and it triggers you. Well, where does that come from? So it's stored in your body. Now, if you dwell on it, of course, it could be quite overwhelming, and it's going to build and build and build, and you tap into a place of survival mode, which is the place of fear. How can we tap into this place of being peaceful, feeling serenity, feeling this divine connection? For example, if I play my guitar, I play my music, I don't feel any level of fear. I don't feel hesitance. I am not afraid. I'm just feeling. And ultimately, everybody wants this feeling of simply feeling the experience. You don't think about, okay, what should I do to have this experience? What do I need to do? The brain does, however. And so if you happen to be with your spouse or someone that you have, let's say you have an argument. Well, where does this argument come from? Okay, somebody says something to you and you squeeze you like a lemon, and whatever comes out of that lemon is what's already inside. So if somebody squeezes you, pushes your buttons, and suddenly you become angry, well, it's the anger inside of you. And I speak about this many times. Again, you will have situations in your life where you talk to someone, or somebody's talking to you and pushing your buttons, or let's say you're letting them push your buttons, and something comes out subconsciously. And again, it's because you are in your brain, and it has its purpose. There's nothing negative about being in survival mode. All of the instincts that we have as a human are essential, and they're natural. Once we know the purpose, how to use it, what it's used for, then we can be more sufficient, could be more practical, as we are in control of our emotion, not the emotion is in control of us. So, step number 1, acknowledge who you are. You are not your ego. You're not your gender. You're not your color. You're not whatever you have or worked for. You're not what you behave like. You're not the things that you say or whatever you do. You are who you truly are inside. Search inside of you before you close your eyes. The simple fact of life is when you realize you are not alone. One of my songs. And it talks about finding yourself inside. So really step back for a moment and recognize who you are. When you recognize that you are a divine being, a soul, a beautiful being, a perfect being that has all the tools, all the potential that you could ever dream of. You have everything because it's inside of you. The universe is in you. You are the universe. Once you recognize that, you operate from a different place. You are in your heart. And when you're in your heart, finally you can relax. You can breathe. You can actually smell the flowers. But when you're in a stress mode, of course, you're inhibited. I mean, it's not allowing you to really reach this place of your heart. And so your heart rate goes, your blood pressure goes up, and you're running left and right. And even if you want to behave calmly and quietly, the harder you try, the worse it gets, because you're operating from a place of the ego, of the brain. And everything has its place and time. So going back to your heart, when you recognize who you are, now you can determine, okay, what do you really want? From here, what do you want? What brings you joy? I'm looking at a tree in the moment as I'm speaking with you, and I see the wind making this tree move. It's a bamboo tree, and there's no resistance with that tree. It's going like this, and it's one with nature. And can you imagine you are being one with nature? You're being just like that bamboo tree. You're not going hard against hard. You're being just one with it. Imagine water. If you try to grab it, Bruce Lee mentioned that a long time ago. You try to grab that water, you're not able to grab it. And if you want to punch, you will hurt yourself. So be like water. You are water. You are that essential being, one with the soul, one with the heart. You are a divine being. And so once you start from that place, that's the very first step where everything is changing. So once you are in your heart, you're in a place that is no longer about the past or the future. It is about being in the present moment. And when you're in the present moment, you feel love. You feel all the opposite of fear. There's no resistance. And so this will change your biology. It will change everything inside your body. Imagine something that you want to feel. You're doing a meditation or you have a vision. And you just feel that. And this feeling, what happens is you take this feeling back into your body, and that memory of the future, not the past, but the future, will be stored in your body. So you now live the experience as you already achieved it.